That's what you need to know. If it's residential, it's not IBC, it's IRC. If it is commercial, it's not IRC, it's IBC, okay? So start there and know what you're talking about when you're saying codes, okay? So let me just say that. Know what you're talking about, all right? Because a lot of you guys, I don't feel like you know what you're talking about. And for the longest time, I was that same dude for way too long of a time. I'm embarrassed by it, quite frankly, because it's really not that difficult. Check out this job site that we're been working on for a while. But the insurance company added quite a bit on this one. I'm going to get here and do some documentation to justify why even more documentation is necessary. Starting with this dumpster that we didn't need, right? Kind of looks like we needed it. Let's go up top, have a look, see what we got going on up there. Well, first of all, looks like to me is we have 2 sheets of ISO. It's important to have the eyewear on when it's sunny days. You get this Duralast PVC membrane here. So it's coming along pretty good. Now I want to take a second here to discuss building codes, right? Because I see so many times guys are talking about the building codes, and it just seems like most people still don't really have a handle on it. You know, it's like they hear that building codes are required in certain instances, so they know it's required by code, but they're not quite sure which code. And sometimes they think they know which code, but they think that that applies for everywhere that they work on, right? Or they think that it's a city code of some sort. Now, it starts with the city, right? But it's not a city code. The city adopts the code, a certain version of the code, right? And so you have to start by looking at, you know, if we're on a commercial job, which we are, then you have to start by considering that it's the standards for this job is the IBC, all right? Now that stands for the International Building Code. Now I don't care which state you're in, that's where it starts. I mean, they might have their own version of the code, but fundamentally it's based on the IBC, the International Building Code. And the thing you need to know about the International Building Code is that it comes out once every 3 years, okay? So right now, let's go all the way back. We've got, you know, let's just say 2003, 2006, 2009, 2012, and the most recent version is 2015. As of right now, May 2018, when I'm making this video. Now, soon, the newest version, because they're every 3 years, will come out, and that'll be the 2018 version of the IBC. That's the International Building Code, okay? Now, if it's residential, it's the International Residential Code, which again is sort of based on the IBC, all right? But that's what you need to know. If it's residential, it's not IBC, it's IRC. If it is commercial, it's not IRC, it's IBC, okay? So start there and know what you're talking about when you're saying codes, okay? So let me just say that. Know what you're talking about, all right? Because a lot of you guys, I don't feel like you know what you're talking about. And for the longest time, I was that same dude for way too long of a time. I'm embarrassed by it, quite frankly. because it's really not that difficult. We'll start there. That's the version that you need to be doing for a job like this, okay? Now, in addition to that, that's the building codes, but in addition to that, you also need to be thinking about the International Energy Conservation Code. Now that's the IECC, International Energy Conservation Code, okay? IECC. Now we're talking about basically energy for the building envelope, okay? And the building envelope is the roof and the walls, all right? And that includes the roof cavity and the wall cavity. That's the building envelope. That's what we're talking about with IECC. So we're talking about like skylights. We're talking about the window, the energy efficiency of windows. We're talking about insulation, okay? And that is very, very, very important, because this job, and I'll put up some pictures of the way this job looked before, but this job used to be a modified bitumen system, okay? And it had several layers underneath. But none of those layers underneath, which was like fiberboard and other things, none of those layers, like if you put all those layers together, if you took and you said, okay, the fiberboard by itself has an R value of something, I don't even know what that is. Not very much, right? Not enough, not near enough. But if the fiberboard has an R value of something, okay, and then the felt has an R value of something, the modified bitumen has an R value of something, and the tar and gravel, right? And then the decking itself, and any insulation that's inside of that roof cavity. You add all of those up, and if the R value for those is not sufficient to what the building code calls for, then you've got to upgrade it to bring the R values up. Okay, now, most guys in commercial roofing, they know this or should know this, right? But maybe they know it, but they don't know what it's based on. Well, let me tell you. Right now, I'm standing in the city of Plano, Texas. So if you were to go on Google and search the city of Plano, Texas building codes, you're going to find pretty quickly their city building department website. And on that website, it's going to say what their adoptions are. Which version of the codes do they adopt, right? And so like the city of Dallas, for example, city of Dallas they adopt the 2015 IBC, the 2015 IRC, and the 2015 IECC. Now, anywhere in the state of Texas, this is what's beautiful about Texas, is that the governor signed into law in late 2016. It's an executive order that anywhere you are in the state of Texas, you must be following the 2015 IECC, right? So the most recent versions of the energy codes, it doesn't matter where you're at in Texas. You can be in a big city or in some small town, country, like a township or something like that. It doesn't matter where you are. This is about to blow out into the freeway. It doesn't matter where you are in Texas, you've got to be following the 2015 IECC, period. It doesn't matter, right? Now, does the local, place enforce it? Doesn't matter. They have to enforce that. That's a state executive order. You don't even need, when the adjuster says, give me the city stuff, tell them I don't need to give you the city stuff on the IECC. I'm going to give you the state executive order here. Now, so what that means, the 2015 IECC requires that a commercial building like this requires R25 value. The value of the R value should be 25, right? So R25 value should be what makes up this total system. So, as you saw when I was coming up the ladder, on this roofing system here, that's 2 sheets of ISO board. So, and the insurance company, by the way, if they have ordinance and law coverage, building code upgrade coverage, which, by the way, if you're a contractor, I think you have to stay away from policy and coverage all the way. You've got to stay in your lane, right? But there really is a couple of questions you could ask, and I consider that to be reasonable, which is, do you have building code upgrade coverage? Or maybe ask the adjuster, I was with an adjuster this morning, and I said, you let me know if we're going to have a problem on this deal on OL coverage, you know. So OL, ordinance and law, building code upgrade coverage, they should have the coverage. If they have a bank, they most certainly probably have the coverage. But then, do they have the coverage, but then are there caps on that coverage, right? So I was on a deal where the cap was $10,000, and that didn't get us very far. This morning I was on one where it was $25,000, but they had a stretch endorsement. So these are things that are important for a contractor to know and understand, okay? Do they have building code upgrade? And also, if you don't know this already, I mean, this is kind of maybe seem elementary to some of you out there, but do they have replacement cost value policy or actual cash value policy, RCV or ACV, right? Find that out and make sure you know that before you just go in there and start building, right? But in this particular case, code upgrade coverage comes into play quite a bit because number one, and I'll maybe show you what the price is on these 2 sheets of ISO board, which was approved, by the way, by the adjuster, and that brought the estimate up significantly. And the other thing that was approved was parapet wall flashing, right? And also cap flashing. The cap flashing on this one was damaged, okay? But if you have to take that cap flashing off and put it back on, hey, if it's got nails going through it, and you can show the nails on this one, I had pictures of the nails and pictures of hail damage just to make sure. But any flashings must be replaced where rusted, damaged, or deteriorated. That counts here. This system must have parapet wall flashing. So that flashing, and if it's rusted, damaged, or deteriorated, if it was there before, has to be replaced. One of the things that we got them to add on this was, okay, now the roof system terminates in the middle of this parapet wall, and then what are we going to do about the wall itself, right? I mean, it has damage, right? So when you take that off, you can see it's a stucco type texture wall, and it's damaged, when you take the termination off. So we saw that coming, and we put it in our estimate and explained that it's going to be damaged during the tear off, but also there's hail damage itself on the stucco. Nobody even seemed to notice that, right? And so you got to be looking for those things. Nobody ever saw that. The sales guy didn't see it. Other people didn't see it. The other adjusters didn't see it. But this wall has to be taken care of, right? Has to be, the flashing has to be replaced in every scenario. So these ACs right here, detach, reset. And by the way, and all these vents need to be replaced, right? Because of the flashing. The flashing is damaged, must be replaced. All the electrical wiring, running up along the walls. That's a big deal, right? That's a big deal. So we've got electrical, mechanical, and we've also got plumbing that we have to deal with. So we've got plumbing over there, right? And so, and down here. So what do you think? Do you think we've met our threshold for overhead and profit? You betcha we have. There's no doubt about that. I mean, we're using 3 different state licensed trades, which is rare in Texas. You don't have to have a license for roofing or anything, right? But you do have to have a license for mechanical and electrical and plumbing, right? And so that's overhead and profit all day long, but their rules has to reach a level of complexity and or coordination, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's definitely complex to coordinate all those state licensed trades folks, right? And we also have, when you're looking at these roofs, look down here, man. Look down there. Are you seeing damage, right? Are you seeing hair damage? Hello, hair damage, hair damage, hair damage, hair damage, 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 hair damage, hair damage. So, I mean, you can see damage everywhere. Are you looking at this stuff? And then when you go, hey! And then also, are you looking at the surface of the exterior paint? Are you even bothering to look at it? In this case, it's damaged. So we had to submit it to the insurance company, and they sent an adjuster back out to verify that damage and to verify paint on all 4 elevations. It only took 1 hit per elevation, okay? So they got all 4 of them. Now, it's short in how they accounted for that, but we opened up coverage for that. We identified the damage, documented it extensively. This job, I want to say we had like maybe 400 or 500 pictures on this job alone. It's a big deal, you know? And I submit to you that's not enough. I'm here now doing more pictures of the in progress, and that's another big thing. Are you documenting the build in progress? Okay? So like, you got to be proving this stuff while you're building it. You have to prove of what you're doing, what's necessary. If you want to make a case for overhead and profit, you know, forget about this form. You got to have the homeowner sign and the property owner sign, and forget about what's in the policy and what the law says and all this stuff. Hey, look, we're not allowed to be in the policy, so how do we know that? We're not allowed to talk about that stuff, right? So what's their rules? It has to reach a level of overall complexity and/or coordination that's required of a general contractor, right? I submit to you, Mr. Adjuster, I have reached that threshold of complexity and/or coordination based on the following items, you know, and extensive documentation to prove complexity and coordination. And we'll get into that more because, as you know, that's a big university. But I think you have to work to get the overhead and profit. There's no easy magical solution to that. But back to the building codes. They approved the building code upgrade here. The ISO board, 2 sheets of ISO board added to this old beat up junk mod bit system, right? Now it's done properly. We're putting a good system on there. It's Duralast, and we've got what's all going to have brand new flashing. Everything's going to be taken care of. Brand new cap flashing. The signs are going to be put in brand new. The paint, there's interior damage on this job, another thing that the adjuster missed. Another thing to justify overhead and profit is the acoustic ceiling tiles inside and the paint, etc., right? We've got more electrical on this job. All of that has to be dealt with. You know, general conditions need to be met. Special access on this job. You know, you need heavy equipment. You can only work during certain hours a lot of times. So just some things to be thinking about when you're involved on a job like this. But most importantly, the main point I wanted to make is about these building codes. So start and see, does the city adopt what? This city adopts the 2015 IBC, and of course we're in the state of Texas, so they adopt the 2015 IECC, and according to their local, and they might have some amendments. That city might have amendments where they've changed some things. So you do need to look it up. But in this particular case, R25 value is required. Mr. Adjuster, I'm sorry, but you can't force me to break the law. You said I have to go out there and replace the roof. And my role is to perform all repairs that are prescribed by you, okay? And you prescribed for me to remove this roof and replace it. But, Mr. Adjuster, you can't force me to break the law. The law says that I have to do this roof according to code. Like so. Another thing to think about, building code items, if the insurance adjusters are doing their job correctly, are supposed to be PWI, which stands for paid when incurred. This, what you see right here, is the work being incurred, okay? So when we prove this with an invoice and with photos and extra documentation, because we will be adding more items to the estimate, when we prove that and submit our invoice, recoverable depreciation will be released, which technically kind of should have been when we were hired, but if it wasn't, it'll be released then, as well as all PWI items. Now, a lot of policies, again, we don't deal with policy, but a lot of scenarios we'll say, like a dumpster is a PWI item. So a lot of times they won't give you that until it's been incurred. A lot of times they won't give you the overhead and profit until it's been incurred, okay? Which in this case, I insist. By the way, I just want to say, I'm starting to really get amazed and astonished by my YouTube channel. I can't believe it. It seems like it's just taken off. For all of you out there that's not using YouTube, I think it's a great place to be. And the amount of subscribers are climbing, and I'm really quite astonished by the activity and the engagement and the feedback and comments that I get from a lot of people. It's something that I started a little while ago, like a year and a half ago, and never really anticipated that it would be what it is now. And so I just want to take a moment to thank all you guys out there, man. Much love from the bottom of my heart. If you're watching this video, I don't know if you subscribed to my channel or you found it, but I just know it's so busy out there in today's world. And so for you to take a moment of your time to watch this kind of content, and I imagine you're probably doing it to better yourself, to learn about things, and I just appreciate that confidence. I really do. I appreciate your time and attention. I really do. So please keep watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. All right, and please like this video. Please keep coming back. You know why? Because I'm going all in. I think this YouTube stuff is awesome. I see the potential, and so I've decided I'm gonna start making a lot more content like this. I was out with an adjuster this morning and filmed a lot of that. Building consultants and engineers, talking to adjusters on the phone. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Maybe I can figure out how to suggest it. But there's a video I did where I called. They say, what do you do about an adjuster that you just can't work with? He's just totally unreasonable, and you kind of hit a brick wall where you can't even communicate with the guy anymore, right? What do you do about that adjuster? Well, I got one for you. How about take the adjuster off the playing field and get him removed from the claim? So I did a video where I called the supervisor and got this adjuster removed from 2 claims that we were working on. So that was really super cool. So I've just decided that I'm going to really step up on the content and get more of this type of content out. And then also, what's wrong with this insurance estimate? That's on our channel. It's a playlist. And I only got up to like 6 episodes, and then it's people still watch it all the time. So those estimates, those episodes are outdated. So now I'm working on episode number 7 and 8 and 9, and this is actually going to be one of those episodes. So where we took it more than twice the amount. So thanks a lot. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. Wherever you're at right now in your life, you need to make a new commitment to get serious about your career and use stuff like this to crush them upside their heads.